everybody, it's Pollo Del Mar, and I am backstage at Drag Queens of Comedy at the historic Castro Theater, produced by Sasha Soprano, and I am here with iconic, legendary, read that is old, Lady Bunny!
Hi! How are you?
I'm good, Bunny. How are you?
Doing good, enjoying the show. It's been really fun. Are you lip syncing to my words? You're probably better than me.
You know,
are you a lip reader?
You really never know what the fuck you're gonna get when you're with Lady Bunny. Like,
you're talking about disease-wise.
How long have you actually been performing as Lady Bunny?
I would say about 25, 30 years. I'm off with dates, but yeah, I've been in New York for 25, 30 years.
My first experience meeting Lady Bunny, I was about 23 years old.
Oh, we met?
This is long before my drag career. I met her in Cleveland, Ohio. She was going to do a nightclub gig, and a friend of mine was bringing her in town, and I had to, this was during Shame, Shame, Shame.
Yes.
And I picked her up from the airport. She had a broken arm.
Yes, with a sleeve like this on one shoulder to cover broken arm. That was when I was working for Camel Cigarette sponsored tour, and that summer, James Brown and I were Camel's top touring acts all over the country.
Well, my friend brought you to Cleveland for Camel cigarettes, and I had to pick her up, and I said, oh my gosh, what happened to your arm? And she said, it was a nasty fisting incident.
Yes.
He sneezed. That's what you told me.
I don't think I'm believable as even a fisting top, much less any other kind. If you think I'm unconvincing as a woman, you should see me as a man.
That's true. That is true. Your career, you've become increasingly more political in terms of your perspectives. But then it just occurred to me that at the time that you produced it, Wigstock was in and of itself a political statement in many ways.
I didn't really see it that way because, you know, ACT UP was huge when we started Wigstock, and the East Village was kind of like the epicenter of drag and activism, you know, and AIDS crisis was scary everyone because we were dropping like flies. So gays were a lot more political now. You know, I wasn't one of those political gays. I wasn't one until 9/11. You know, in fact, I was scared off by ACT UP because it was so popular that it was considered a cruise place.
ACT UP?
Oh yes, the ACT UP meetings were very cruisy, and I just felt like, you know, I didn't belong to part of that boys' club, you know, because I was a sissy.
Well, I mean, what I meant was like primarily that like in that era, just being out and proud and doing a festival that was entirely drag related, that's kind of political, it's pseudo political.
Well, I mean, the word they said was it was in your face, but you know, what I felt is that back then, you know, now I'm very shrill and people like hide my Facebook feeds. Because they're all like, I hate everyone from Hillary to the Republicans. But, you know, back then I said, listen, there's the jesters and there's the leaders, you know, and I said, I am the fool. That's my role, is to be a fool. And maybe my role has changed over time. I mean, I'm still a fool on stage, but I just didn't feel that. I felt like because we were making such demands, like the gay community that was organized against the Catholic Church, against the government and their ties with the pharmaceutical industry, you know, demanding a cure. You know, Reagan wouldn't say AIDS because his possibly gay ballerina son, who he was ashamed of, he was afraid of. You know, I mean, we were demanding a lot, and I really felt like it was the danger is the boy that cried wolf. If you're always saying, we deserve this, we deserve, I said, wait a minute, we need one day where we can say, we're also alive, and we're also fun people, and let's have a kooky time, you know, because
I remember being a young gay, having just come out of like probably a year prior, going to the theater and watching the Wigstock movie and being like, it would have never occurred to me at 22 that I would be 20 years later sitting here with the Lady Bunny next to me, right? So
yeah, most people thought I probably would have died.
That really wasn't what I was getting to, but that too.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
travel and tour consistently, performing all over the world.
I'm going to Mykonos for the first time.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
It's an island where fancy people go in Greece.
Oh, I've been educated. You've been educated. I'm sure most of you did not know where Mykonos is. Like, so what is it like? What is the response that you get when you go to like random places? Like, out, you know, San Francisco ones. Yeah, whatever. Mykonos or where?
I'm Southern, so some of my best audiences are like in, I guess you would say, random places like St. Petersburg, where they kind of identify with the inbreeding. I mean, I've lived in Yankee territory for, 25, 30 years, but they sense that I am essentially Southern in my manner.
You are, and very sweet and very polite. Most of the time you are. You're like,
thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you for recognizing how polite and ladylike I am.
You're very well hung for a white woman. You and RuPaul go back a very long time. How did the two of you cross paths?
Well, we were living in Atlanta, and there was a very explosive art scene, and he and I basically got our start go-go dancing for a band called the Now Explosion. It was a similar thing to the East Village in New York, where cheap housing could be had by artists and a very bohemian scene. Of course, we were young, so we were getting fucked up out of our minds, and we all ended up coming to New York, and they actually went back, and I stayed there, which made them so very jealous.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. You're now working in a show that's laden with people from RuPaul's Drag Race. How has Drag Race really changed the scene of drag from when you emerged?
Drag Race de-emphasizes performance. You don't perform on the show unless you lose a bunch of challenges which have nothing to do with what drag is, like adding facial hair. You know, we want to remove facial hair. So, I mean, I'm too old to understand any reality TV, and I never watched Drag U or Drag Race. You know, I mean, so I'm not...
You are the dean of Drag U!
I listen, I have to be it. I don't need to see it.
Okay.
I like a paycheck, though. But, you know, it's interesting to me because there's some great performers that, you know, well, I mean, I knew Bianca was a great performer before she was on Drag Race, but Alaska was fantastic tonight. Willem has a real gift. You know, even someone like Miss Fame, who maybe isn't a dynamite live performer and knows it, is an incredible makeup artist and a beauty and a style icon. Maybe Raja is someone else who you would say isn't like known as much for her stage as just being a style icon and a gorgeous makeup artist, and you know, so it's brought a lot of talented queens to light, but you're not performing your own act, and you're not really booked on it because you are considered the most talented in your town. You're booked on it because they need a fat queen, a club kid, a Puerto Rican queen, a black queen, a bitch, a beauty, you know. So it's like it's its own thing, and that thing appeals to a lot of people. But honey, I'm old. I like scripts, and I like actresses. You know, I like Carol Burnett, I like Lucille Ball, and I guess I'm really showing my age, but whatever.
You recently, congratulations, had a top 20 hit on Billboard's dance charts.
It was a year ago. Yeah, I mean, music is something that I work on a lot, and it doesn't pay my bills, but I've done a couple duets with RuPaul, and he just re-released one and edited me out of it.
How very
But I'm working on a bunch of other stuff, including something coming out this summer with Ursula 1000, which had that great song, Kinda Kinky. This is years ago, but I was thrilled to collaborate with them.
So, and you know, like the reason I mentioned that particular track, it was called Take Me Higher, right?
Take Me Up High.
Take Me Up High, is because of the fact that you are known for doing a lot of parodies in your routine, but this was something 100% your own.
Right.
And a hit.
Well, I do write music. I mean, it just doesn't pay my bills. I mean, even, you know, like...
It doesn't pay most people's bills.
Well, I mean, unless you're like an Adele and you've written everything and people buy the entire album, a lot of these people are not making money. I mean, Lily Allen said she's quit business because the music makes the money. I mean, it's sad. And drag queens we take things that aren't ours. We lip sync to songs or parody songs that we don't own. But it's really out of control now because it's like, remember Taylor Swift took her music off Spotify, and she, with this last album, she kind of said, I don't want you, I'm hot. We paid a lot for this album. We paid stylists and we made videos, and I want to make money from my music. And they were like, no, we want to listen to it for free. And there was a backlash. But it costs money to make this. If you really love her, you need to buy her fucking shit. It's like,
oh my God,
there she is right now.
That was Taylor Swift in the other rooms. Yes, girl, that's right. Yeah. What have you got upcoming? You said you got some new music coming up. You got some tours coming up. What is specifically all about Lady Bunny?
I'll be at San Francisco Gay Pride on the main stage, and I will be the night before at Oasis doing like a whole show, which I used to do at a granny shack, shall we say? Way back when you could say
a T word.
Right, but I will just say granny shack.
Well, especially if you were there in Nicolina's house.
Hey, no, we used to do it at the Stud, so I'm traveling all over really this summer.
All right, everybody, what's your website?
LadyBunny.net.
Yes, and please go, and she has outrageously funny things. She has like thought-provoking things, political things. She is a Jill of all trades. Really.
Naked pictures.
Not of her.
Right, of Pollo.
But she's a douche. Bianca Del Rio.
The dulcet tones of Bianca Del. What is it again?
Rio.
I used to love the way Bianca does her lashes one at a time. Until I went to her apartment and noticed all the dead roaches on the floor.
Oh my God! It's Lady Bunny. I'm Pollo Del Mar. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, buns.